Well, working on the 75 Chevy, prepping the exhaust manifolds. Some days it seems like if you didn't have bad luck, there wouldn't be any luck at all. And this turned out to be a far bigger project than it should have been. Should have been just simple crank out some bolts, maybe twist one off. But as you see, the video is long. Go ahead, fast forward through it. Tried to catch all the details and frustration, but go ahead and watch it. See what you think. Thanks for watching. Enjoy. We're back at the exhaust manifold on the 75 Chevy. Due to operator error, I grabbed the wrong die. Chased my threads with a 3/8 fine thread. But they were pretty dinked up anyway. So we're gonna replace the studs, which is the best plan anyway. So what we're gonna do is warm up this manifold till it just glows, and unthread the stud and replace it with a new one with some anti-seize on it. I have a stud removal tool that we're going to try. I've used it in the past. If you look back in the videos, there's one where I'm pulling studs out of the heads on the 2590. Most of those broke off. Hopefully these don't break off. Because then you got to drill and tap and chase, and comes a whole bunch of work. There, we're just starting to glow all the way around. Kill the torch. Hopefully that stud backs right out. And that's exactly what I didn't want to happen. So, looks like we're going to have ourselves a continuation. We'll weld the washer on there and a nut and try that route. I was expecting that stud to just crank right out of there. It did start to turn. This one we're going to use a vice grip and try to massage it out, which I probably should have done, but I was impatient. neither of those two methods worked very well, so get the welder fired up, get these welded up, and go on. The fortunate thing is these two have a shoulder that go around the backside, so they are through holes. Worst comes to worst, we can always drill through, retap them through. I've also drilled these out and run a bolt in from the backside. I don't want to do it that way, but it is an option. I also noticed this manifold has been off before. These holes have been drilled out oversized. Otherwise, you have to go in here sometimes with a spreader and spread them to get them to bolt on. That's the other option. That's the way I prefer to do it. So, all right, we'll be back with the welder. More fun and games ahead. All right, we're getting this set up. So what I like to do is weld the washer on first. So after I place the nut on, I like to weld through the center as much as I can, and then I throw a little spot weld on each side. Tacking it to the washer. I should also mention that I have the heat turned way up. This welder has 6 settings. So I have the heat turned up and the wire speed turned down just a little bit from where I usually weld. So we will let these cool. My theory is when you weld them, it expands the bolt in the hole. And then when it cools, it shrinks. And it shrinks it a little bit more than where it originally started. We'll also blow a little bit of WD-40 in on the top side of these. Well, it's hot. Maybe that'll cool the bolt a little bit and ooze in there slightly. So let them cool for about 5-10 minutes and we'll be back to check on the progress. So everything is cool to the touch. We'll see if by any luck this works. So number one was successful. There's a slight possibility that I could have welded the washer to the manifold as well here. Grab the die grinder here, touch that up. Well, something moved. This one's being very difficult. Ah. So I've got my easy out here. See if by chance maybe we'll move. And if not, we'll re-weld it. The thing I don't like about the easy outs is it tends to expand things. Sometimes cuts into the threads. Okay, I probably skipped a couple steps. I drilled this out. We tried the easy out, that didn't work. So what I ended up doing is I welded just a nut this time. Lost my wrench. Needed it to pull the drain plug in my square body here to drain the oil. So instead of welding a washer to it, I just welded the nut through the center. Piece of wire stuck on here. Pry that off so I can use my box end. Not that that probably makes any difference anymore, but makes me feel better. And I think I broke it off the end. So what we'll end up doing on this is getting the proper drill bit, drill it out, run a tap through it, and thread in the new stud. So the tap size for a 3/8 bolt is 5/16. Not sure the best position to do this. I'm trying to square everything up. Let the drill follow. All right, we are through. Woohoo! This was supposed to be a quick 1.5 minute video. So I already run the tap through the other 2 holes. Clean them up. I am going to grab the other 2 studs and my anti-seize. So that in 20, 30 years when I got to pull this engine out, or if I got to pull it out next week, well, next week it wouldn't be seized up. The brass nuts wouldn't be having issues, but at least this way in the future, if one of the studs twists off or something goes wrong, It may make the task easier. It doesn't hurt. We'll just put it that way. And I like to put just a little bit of pressure on these. Bottom them out in the hole just a little bit. That one cinched in tight, the one we worked on, so. Oh, why? Well, that doesn't make sense. Show you what we're looking at here. This manifold is different than the other one. Looks the same. But if you look from the edge of the hole to the bolt, there's a distance there. I'm going to put the gasket over those two holes. Lines up. It does not line up with that hole. It's off almost a half a hole. Looks like I gotta go digging some more for parts. Heading the snowbank. Yippee-yay. All right, we're back at working on manifolds again. After lots of frustration and working on the other one, finding out that the stud layout was different is frustrating. Went out to the boneyard, found another one, and odds are these are going to twist off. Oops, wrong lever. But we'll see if we can massage things out here, or massage them apart. I'll probably put new studs in anyway. Actually, this stud's turning out a manifold. That's fantastic. Sorry about that. And the wrench I'm using is way too big. But it makes it easy to destroy things. I don't think this one's gonna work its way out. However, if I could spin the nut off, possibly clean up the threads, it'd save me having to remove a stud. Well, I'll be darned. This one is turning the stud out of the manifold as well. And it definitely doesn't hurt to have this clamped in the vise, where I can actually see what's going on. Guess we'll see if third time is the charm. Guess we could try putting a little help you move stuff on there, but so I'm just working these back and forth. Guess I should have went out to the boneyard a long time ago. I just didn't want to pull this off of an engine, but it's off of a 305 anyway. Save this, put this in the box of misfit parts in case I have a flange rust off. This heat riser is froze up. I'll compare this manifold and heat riser. May just use this one, means it matches. Oh. I like this. This has the dome on it. I don't have to put a gasket in. Yes, yes, yes. I think we're just going to put this whole setup together. Go grab a die and run that over. We'll lop that out. We'll put this together. We'll be right as rain. All right, so this time we're back with the proper die. like so. This had an actuator. This had this vacuum actuator that mounted up alongside the head. That opened and closed. It obviously was not working. And comparing my old one to this one, our deck height is approximately right at the top of this taper. So everything should line up real close to being right. I'm pretty pleased with that. We're going to clamp this thing in the vise and take after with a hammer and chisel and get that butterfly out of there, because best way to take that out of there. Because we want to leave part of this collar on here for sure where it's fused on. Otherwise, this shaft can work its way out and then you end up with a hole. It's not a through hole on this side, but on this side where the through hole is, then you get an exhaust leak there. So might just be easiest to torch that out.